Hello everyone, it's your boy Devil Dog back with you with another video, but today we're doing something much different than usual, the typical gaming content that I post on YouTube. Today is going to be an educational video on the basics of Photoshop, and all I'm going to talk about today in this video is how to create a document and go over some of the tools and kind of go over some of the areas of the workspace and just tell you what they can do. And then the next videos on, we'll actually start going over how the tools work and eventually just upgrading until I'm actually making designs. So guys, let's roll the intro and start learning. Okay guys, I didn't actually come up with any kind of script as to how to do this video, so I'm just winging it from now on, from here on out. So the first thing you want to do when you already download Photoshop and have submitted your membership for Creative Cloud, you just go down to Photoshop. I have it pinned to my taskbar right here below, so you just click it and it opens. Okay, so here we are right now at the main area of this. As soon as you open Photoshop, this is what you'll see, except if you're new to Photoshop and have never used it, you won't see all these, projects down here. So the first thing you want to pay attention to is obviously, we got the home right here, this is where we are, we're at home. And you got the learning area. So this is actually a couple of tutorials on how to, edit images and how to do some interesting things on Photoshop. It's pretty cool. It's pretty hands-on too. They walk you step by step on how to do certain things on here. It's actually amazing. You guys might actually enjoy that. So, obviously your work is your work that you can see. Lightroom photos. I don't know if I have any or not, actually. Yeah, I do actually. I do have some Lightroom photos. Lightroom is essentially just a place to store your images, so don't worry about that, honestly. All right, so let's go to create new. This is exactly why I started the video in the first place. Is to help you create a new document on Photoshop and understand how to set it up. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the first thing you want to do is hit create new document, and this box pops up. It's called new document, obviously. So you don't worry about this stuff right here. Don't worry about this stuff, okay? Because honestly, it doesn't matter. When you're making a project, you're gonna already know, or you should know, what the dimensions are to what project you're gonna be making. So when it comes to example, a YouTube thumbnail, you need a 1280 by 720 pixel document, because that is the actual size of a thumbnail that fits into the YouTube thumbnail upload thingy, whatever you call it. Not entirely sure what it's called, but either way, that is the size of the thumbnail. So okay, let's go over here to this menu option. Okay, so the first line is title. Okay, it's the title of your document. That's really all it is. All right, the next little option right here is the width, self-explanatory, and the height, also self-explanatory, how tall your document is. This is the thing to worry about right here, pixels. Okay, I usually have mine set to pixels because most web designs that you do are usually determined in pixels, but you can also set them up in inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, and picas, which don't ask me what picas are. I have absolutely no idea. The next little area right here is called resolution. Now I always have resolution set to 72. 72 is the golden number for if you're making any kind of web design whatsoever. Any design that is meant to go on screen, you would set it to resolution 72 pixels per inch. Now, if you're making something for print, you would set the resolution to 300 pixels per inch. We're not making anything for print, so 9 times out of 10 you guys won't either, and if you do, then set your resolution to 300 pixels per square inch. Now, the next other area is color mode. Okay, so RGB is pretty simple. RGB is literally the screen colors, on-screen colors. It's all meant for on-screen, or those little cool little LED lights you guys get from Amazon. That's all RGB. Okay, CMYK is the second color mode, and CMYK is essentially made for print. So like I said, guys, 9 times out of 10 when you're making any project on Photoshop, it's most likely going to be set in RGB. Okay, I don't usually worry about the background contents. I typically just leave it white, but if you want, you can change it to black. You can change it to a different color. You can make it transparent if you're making some kind of emote or a subscriber badge, you know, for Twitch or whatever. There's advanced options. I never really mess with anything under color mode, honestly. And always keep your pixel aspect ratio to squares. It's just easier to deal with, okay? Let's go to create a document. So now I want to go here to my custom setting right here, which is 1280 by 720 at 72 ppi, which is pixels per square inch. Now this is my custom preset that I use for YouTube thumbnails. So I just hit create and it opens the document for you. So the next thing you want to do is essentially, you know, if you need to pull images off anywhere, you go to file and you do place embedded, and it will open up your little, you know, document area. So let's just do one for an example, just to show you how it works. So I go to, you know, assets for design. That's just what I use to essentially, you know, set up any kind of whatever. So I made a thumbnail a couple of days ago for this YouTube video. So here, we'll just place this image. Okay, that's how you place objects into your workspace. Is basically, you can either go file, wait, hold on. Okay, go file, place embedded, or you can just have your little window popped up. This right here, let me slide it back over. This right here, you can have this pulled over. You can minimize it, drag it. Oh wait, I just lost it. Drag it over to the side, and you can literally just take images and drag them onto the workspace. Well, here, let's just delete this so I can actually show you what I mean, guys. Let me pull this back up again, and you can take your image, drag it to the workspace. Boom, it's already there. Simple. We don't have to go through file. You can already have that already pulled up. So that's basically what the file does. You can also, you know, close it. You can save, you know, you can do a lot of stuff. You can export your projects. Essentially, this is, you know, how you know, get your projects out there and stuff. So edit is self-explanatory. Let me go back to the move tool. Edit, you know, is basically essentially you can do the transform, which is what I mainly use it for, is scaling, rotating, anything like that. This is what this is for, editing any kind of object you have on your actual workspace. Okay, image is self-explanatory. This is every adjustment you need to know to, you know, do image adjustments. You know, like pictures, if you want to make your picture look better, you know, you go to adjustments. You can control the brightness, the levels, curves. We'll talk about all that in other videos, but for now I'm just showing you guys the essentials. All right, there's layer, which is the most important aspect of Adobe Photoshop, and we will go over later layers in a separate video, guys, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to layers. Type, self-explanatory. It's all about your fonts and typography. It's very typography is an art form in itself when it comes to graphic design. So we will talk about typography in another video. Select, which is, you know, you can isolate your layers. You can, you know, select all your layers. Like I said, I'm just showing you what this stuff is. Filters, self-explanatory. It's kind of like Instagram on crack. There's so many different filter options you can do for your projects. It's absolutely insane. There's 3D options. A view is essentially for viewing your project, how it would look like when it's finished, and at different ratios and zoom in and stuff like that. Window is also a very important area in Photoshop, because if you say, if I pull out, like, say if I lose my toolbar, you know what I mean? I don't know if I can actually get rid of this or not. No, I can't. Okay, let me try to get rid of something here. I'll go to window and I'll pull up paragraph styles. You can get rid of paragraph styles and go back to window and bring it back if you lose it. That's essentially what the window is. It just brings back, it brings everything you have in a workspace. Everything you need in a workspace is here in window. The next thing we're going to talk about is the specific tools that you have on Adobe Photoshop. The ones that are very essential to your needs to build any kind of design on Adobe Photoshop. Okay, the Adobe Photoshop at the end of the day is meant for photography, technically, in a way. But you can do so many other things on this program that it's just absolutely amazing. Okay, so here's your basic move tool, which is this top tool right here to the left. It's called the move tool. You can actually use the shortcut V, you know, and basically all it does is let you move stuff around in your workspace. Like I'm moving this around right now. All right, so the next tool down is called your lasso tool. Now I'll show you what a lasso tool does some other time, but essentially what a lasso tool does is you can trace around a certain area, and then, well, you can't, It's not raster size, so that's the only reason why I couldn't do what I was trying to do, deleting it. But you can delete things off an image or an object by tracing it, and then you just delete it. All right, so the next one is also the quick selection tool. Now, like, if you see these tools right here, there's different selections for these specific tools when you see the little small arrow. And there's a lot of different things you can do here. So there's a quick selection tool, there's an object selection tool, and a magic wand tool. And this is all just selecting things, selecting and deselecting. You know what I mean? This is all this tools are for. This is your crop tool. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you crop items, you can slice things. You know, it's for cutting and making images more proportional, or cutting things out of an image that you don't really want. The next one is called the frame tool. So basically, this is a great tool, honestly. The frame tool is, it's really cool, even on different, like, oh my god, Control Z that. This tool is used on a lot of things. So basically, yeah, like, if you put a frame on here, it'll put an image inside the frame. But if you do it on a plain background, you can actually put images inside the frame, so you don't have to worry about distorted images. You can put it to the size you want it to, and more on that later. More on that later, guys. This is the eyedropper tool. Basically, you grab colors and you can, you know, eyedrop it onto the thing. You can actually get colors off of your already, you know, images that you already upload. You can actually get them, and they save them over to your swatches. It's pretty cool. More on that later as well. The spot healing brush. This is we'll get into that later. This tool right here is insane. But it gets rid of, like, stains or weird things on the image that you don't want. It's pretty insane. And there's, like, a bunch of other, like, you know, healing tools that just, you know, kind of helps you edit an image to close to perfection. A brush tool, different kind of brush tool. You paint, basically. You paint. There's a pencil tool. There's a color replacement tool as well, and a mixer brush tool. This is all just for painting. Clone stamp is really hard to explain, and we'll get into that in another video, but it's a good tool, I know that. History brush tool, pretty self-explanatory. It's just like, you know, getting your what you did previously on your, you know, your project, that if you want to bring it back to what it was before, that's what that is. Eraser tool is pretty self-explanatory. You can, you know, erase your background. There's a magic eraser. It's an eraser, guys. That's what it is. Okay, it's an eraser. That's all you need to know. The gradient tool, which is pretty awesome, guys. You can set gradients and they just look awesome. I can't do it right now, but it's basically, it kind of makes a rainbow effect, you know what I mean? Like, you can make it's just interesting. It's an interesting tool. The blur tool, pretty self-explanatory. You can actually sharpen images as well and smudge them up a little bit. So that's what that's for. Not really sure what the dodge, burn, or sponge tool is. I honestly have never used it before. So yeah, I'll have to do some research and we'll get to know that. The pen tool is the most insanely difficult and frustrating tool to use, and we will go over it. And essentially, it makes you lines and curves, like really precise lines and curves, and it's really hard to use. Text tool, pretty self-explanatory. This is how you know, have your text. You put text frames. Put a text frame and say hello. Hello, and that's how you do that, essentially. And the direct selection tool is essentially what it is. You can directly select items onto the, you know, on your workspace. The rectangle tool is, all it does is make a rectangle, but there's other shapes: rounded rectangle, an ellipse, a polygon, a line, and a custom shape tool, which is pretty cool. And next is the hand tool, which, yeah, you can just move around to the workspace. That's all it does. Just lets you move around without actually moving anything. The zoom tool, which is pretty self-explanatory, lets you zoom in and you can see the pixels. See these square pixels, guys? That's essentially what that does. And you can edit your toolbar and add more things to the toolbar if you want. There's a lot of different, you know, essentially tools to use. But that's it, guys. Wait, nope. There's more. This right here is your foreground color. Alright, so you can change color to your foreground, which is basically the image itself, and then the background, or sometimes a stroke. If you have a stroke on any kind of object or typography, you can add color to that as well. But that's the basics of Photoshop, guys, okay? Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, and hopefully you guys will subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications for an update on the next video. And I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, guys, on tutorials on all these Adobe programs. I'm currently enrolled in Independence University pursuing my bachelor's degree in graphic design. So I'm going to give back to the community, to you guys who wants to be, who can't really afford school or don't really have time to go to school and learn properly, I guess you could say. I wouldn't really say it like that, but I don't know. But I want to give back to you guys. I'm going through this school, I'm grinding through it, learning a lot, and developing as a designer myself. So I want to pass this knowledge on to you guys for free. It's simple, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are learning stuff, from these videos, and that's it. That's really all I got, guys. So much love and respect, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.